Conducting audience research is vital in order to produce a specific media product which is being sold to a specific demographic. Before starting to develop my short film idea, it was imperative that I define a target audience by age, gender and socio-economics, as well as factors such as their interests, so that I could tailor the film and ancillaries to attract the attention of these demographics. My primary target audience ended up being 9 to 12-year-old males, with the secondary target audience being around 15 to 18 years old, and were typically the elder sibling of the primary target audience. I constructed a narrative profile for a typical member of my primary target audience, outlining their interests and what's important to them. This aided me in determining the uses and gratifications of personal identity that I would incorporate into my short film. Having decided upon a target audience, I used audience research to practically write the narrative for my short film. After bringing together my initial ideas, I took a focus group of my secondary target audience to find out their opinions and see if they had better suggestions. I used a focus group because it is a form of audience research involving open discussion, thus giving me the opportunity to obtain some rich, detailed qualitative data, and enabled me some flexibility with the questions as to adapt to the discussion. Subsequent to this first focus group, my whole narrative went under reconsideration, though the genre had stayed the same. The location changed from being solely based in the house to primarily being based in a forest. The plot changed to there being toy soldiers, with everything being based around Michael's imagination instead of two brothers fighting over the final cookie, and the props changed to not involve any fake blood or actually fighting over anything in particular. The focus group also helped me to decide costume, whether it should be full army overalls or just casual wear, which was the initial plan. Now that the plot and certain other factors about the film have been decided as a result of the focus group, the audience research was not to end there. I knew it would be crucial to constantly gain feedback from the target audience members as I went through the planning stages of each element for the project. Having near finalised the idea for the storyline, I then went on to creating an animatic for it to try and simulate how it might look when complete. Upon completion, I conducted immediate peer assessment feedback on the animatic, and though they may not be my target audience, they were still able to give crucial feedback on key factors such as the cinematography, editing and content. I plotted the data I gained in the form of a table which my peers then filled out as they assessed my animatic. It was suggested that I use cross dissolves to transition between scenes. However, when experimenting with this in the first edit, I found the transitions to feel sluggish and out of place, so I decided not to include them. During one of the earlier questionnaires that I conducted, I knew it would be imperative to refine my film title, so I decided to leave an open question asking the audience participants what they would call the film, having already received the plot summary, and thus the title Impact was born. Despite the fact that the planning stages for the actual film had been complete, I continued garnering data from my target audience on my ancillaries. Throughout the production process for the film poster, I turned to my target audience members numerous times in order to gain a better understanding of what they would like to see from the poster and what would appeal/stand out to them. Having sketched out 3 possible designs for a potential film poster, I went to a local primary school and handed out a questionnaire to 20 participants aged 9 to 12 with 5 simple questions to find out the best and worst parts of the poster. The results showed that there were 2 fan favourites, with one just about getting the edge in numbers. However, I still rendered up Photoshop editions of both of the most popular posters, both in black and white, since the results were so close, and decided to obtain some more peer assessment feedback to find out which was the preferred version of the poster. This was as simple as placing the posters in front of them, asking them to write their names on a post-it note, and place their post-it note on the preferred poster. Once the feedback was complete, I found the preferred version of the poster to be the one with the character facing away, so I proceeded to draft up a completed poster in both colour and black and white. Originally, I was going to stick with what I found to be conventional of action films in my research and go with a black and white style poster with a red font. However, upon doing another questionnaire to find out the favourite between that and a coloured version, I found that the coloured version better appealed to the majority of my primary target audience, with 60% of participants voting for colours, so that is what I went for with my final poster design. Finishing my first edit meant that I could conduct some more peer assessment feedback and another focus group on my primary target audience, and find out their views on the first edit, as well as take the opportunity to briefly ask them about the poster. The peer assessment feedback showed positive signs, with the peers commenting on the good use of sound effects, cinematography and editing. Their biggest criticisms were with the lighting being too low-key and leaving black patches in some shots, as well as the abrupt stop in the music when the dog whistle sounds. They suggested for the music to stay faintly playing in the background, and then fading back into a regular volume when the whistle starts to fade away. Aside from these minor issues, the feedback was quite positive. Fortunately, my prior audience research meant that I conducted a sufficient first edit which appealed to the focus group participants, who also offered a lot of praise for the music and the content. The focus group participants were prime examples of my primary target audience members, thus enabling me to use them as a sample to see whether I have been able to successfully target young 9 to 12-year-old males, which, judging by the feedback, I have been able to do.
I liked how there was action, there was still comedy in it, and there was lots of comedy, especially towards the end, and I think the music choice was good.
They stated that nothing needed to be changed about the film, but the gun in the poster needed to be altered to look less pasted in, to which I responded to by doing so.
It looks like it's not actually part of the scene and it's been pasted in.